Okay guys, so we're back inside of Helldivers, where our beloved CEO of Arrowhead and the Helldivers 2 creative director seems to be absolutely on fire right now. After a quiet few days, we were wondering where he'd gone, but he's actually been hard at work within the creative director aspect of his job, and he has been back on Twitter to explain a few things for you guys, including a balance patch that we should be due to get very soon that they're currently looking at, a roadmap that we all are waiting on, and some added additionals alongside an exclusive interview with PC Gamer. So we're going to break all of this down for you guys today. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. And check out our sponsor, Control Freak, the #1 in controller gaming aiming. And yes, we made it rhyme. Now today we're going to give you guys a 12% off if you utilize code CloudPlays at checkout using the link down in the description. So go ahead, what have you got to lose? Anyway, with that being said though, let's dive on into today's video. So actually our guy, Mr. Johan, the CEO of Arrowhead, has actually given an exclusive interview to PC Gamer, and the headline for this is absolutely incredible. It states, "We have an actual person with the title of Game Master. A single Helldivers 2 dev named Joel is pulling the strings on its galactic war like an all-powerful D&D dungeon master. War will become more and more sophisticated over time." See, now as Arrowhead has noticed that the attachments players have to planets, and they're willing to make more of them a prominent character in the future. Now the article goes on to state here that Helldivers 2 Galactic War is much more than a mission selector. In short time, players have become invested in the status of their favorite planets and reacted to gains and losses in these sectors' liberation. And this is completely true. We're seeing this with Malevelon Creek. And I'm fully aware, by the way, that I was pronouncing that wrong in yesterday's video. Thank you so much for the comments on repronunciation. I appreciate you greatly. But we're seeing that heavily with Malevelon Creek, and that seems to be something that we are wanting to see a little bit more of. The roleplay inside of this game is absolutely incredible, and I absolutely love it. Now, unexpected to players, that is, the developer of Arrowhead Game Studio, The War, is a product of careful planning and storytelling by a specific behind-the-scenes individual pulling the strings. Now, what Arrowhead's CEO Johan described to as a Helldivers 2 Dungeon Master. He goes on to state here that we have an actual person with the job title of Game Master. His name is Joel, and he takes his job very seriously. We have a lot of systems built into the game where the Game Master has a lot of control over the play experience. It's something that we're continuously evolving based on what's happening in game. And as part of the roadmap, there are things that we want to keep secret because we want to surprise and delight, which actually gets me on the edge of my seat a little bit. He goes on to state that it's the same format when you build that for millions of players. It's just that you can get a personal with every individual, but you can still do the same twists and turns as if it was obviously a small tabletop game anyway. Now those twists, as explained by the Arrowhead prior to Helldivers 2 release, can be as granular as giving a specific player access to a special stratagem mid-mission to spice things up, but it also extends to larger narrativized events in the Galactic War. We got our first taste of that a week after launch, when the offensive campaign against the Termines was interrupted by automation invasion and on the opposite end of the galaxy. So that was absolutely amazing. Now Arrowhead says that it has predictions about how the war will play out and has devised set pieces that it thinks will be a significant, but in true tabletop fashion, the story will change based on player behavior. In fact, it already has. Game Master Joel has already had to grease the wheels of the enemy a few times when the Helldivers community proved a little too efficient at spreading liberty. Now, he actually goes on to state, word for word, that there have been some sudden moments where maybe one planet was too easy or one was too hard, and Joel had to get up in the middle of the night to give the automations a bit of reinforcement so that the players don't take the planet too quickly, which is absolutely crazy that my man Joel is getting up in the middle of the night and just having to boost these figures is actually hilarious. Now, obviously, some more questions that were asked, and one of them was the factor that obviously we were too liberating at first. After the community managed to liberate the first batch of Termine planets faster than Arrowhead anticipated, there was an unplanned day of like nothing happening before the automation invasion was to begin. Now, Johan actually responds to this by stating, so Joel, is his infinite wisdom decided? What happens when a faction wins a portion of a war? Well, they mine everything. That's where the incendiary mine segment came from. Players might remember this, a 24-hour period where the incendiary mine stratagem was available for free on all missions. A cheeky, if vague, moment of payoff. Goes to state that we look at the individual planets, and there was a planet that we made that was good fun, and we have made so many of them, but the community's attachment to each planet is significant. So one of the things that we're looking at internally is how we can reconsider those planets to become more of a character going forward. It seems that they're really looking at the way that these planets actually are utilized and how it is that we can genuinely just enjoy them as much as we can. And this continuous improvement that they seem to be working around is just talking absolute volumes. Absolute volumes. He's taken obviously that article from PC Gamer and he's just expanded it and continued on Twitter, where people are saying not to ever quit, and obviously that he freaking rocks, and it's completely true. The guy is absolutely incredible as far as a CEO and a creative director goes. But he expanded on by saying that they went through the updated roadmap today, some pretty cool stuff in there, but it does mean that there is a updated roadmap. That is mainly the biggest key feature that we want to take away from this. The updated roadmap, I would suspect, was done, but we're obviously not 100% in the game for that pocket yet, and we'll have to wait and see exactly how that one pans out and when we expect to see some more updated news with regards to the game. But there does seem to be some interesting moves around the balance patch that we know we're due to get very soon. Now, somebody states on Twitter saying, obviously there are more pressing issues, but I feel like there needs to be some primary weapon balancing at some point. The SMG, breaker shotgun, and starting assault rifle seem to be the only guns worth using, and the breaker is by far the best. And you would expect that to be right? Yeah. People are kicking people for not having the specific meta, but Johan actually responded with, we are looking at data and doing a balance patch. You would be surprised to learn that while the breaker scores more kills, it's not overrepresented in missions that end in success, which is actually hilarious to think that actually these breaker build meta users are a complete minority, and it's hilarious that they think that they can just keep kicking people and rinse and repeat until somebody gets the meta, because by the sounds of things, you're going to be doing that one for an absolute while. There is a bit of a thing with the UX at the moment, as people are posting up on Twitter with regards to a quote-unquote stratagem bug, which isn't a bug at all, but they would obviously use one stratagem and it would obviously arm a different one. Now, there are difficulty modifiers inside of the game, and they know that the UX for that one is a little bit confusing, and they are looking at fixing it. So that's just a really, really quick one, as well as people wanting for the roll move in prone, and they are talking about that feature. They were speaking about that feature for 4 years but never eventually got round to it, mainly because of the movements and that all feeling very much like Metal Gear Solid. Now, if you have played it, then you will know that it is very, very similar, to say the least. So it seems to be one of those that we might see some more maneuverability changes when it comes to how our Helldiver can react to things and move and roll and duck, weave, dip, dive and dodge. Yep, if you know that film, you're an absolute legend. But irrelevant to it, that is unfortunately all we've got time for today. But Johan has been absolutely on fire in the last 24 hours, and massive shout out to him and his team, because they've done an incredible job, and every single day they shock me just a little bit more. But if you haven't already, make sure you're smashing the beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much again for all of your ongoing support, and let's hit that road to 100,000 subscribers real soon. Thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the clouds.